It is 3 months since the traumatic, possibly real events of the winter solstice. And since then, there have been no more mysterious combustions in London. There's been no word from the Belfonts. All seems reasonably quiet, reasonably safe. Maddie has been up in the country, getting some fresh air, and the treatment of a world-class alienist, and has emerged from the walls of the sanatorium, refreshed, and I think a lot more put together than when she went in. Would you make your own way back to London, or would someone have come up to pick you up?
I would be happy to send a conveyance.
I think, Lady Irene, would you like to be there to collect her?
Yes, I will be there definitely to collect her. I would have invited Lottie if she was there, if she wanted to be.
Okay.
It is spring now, isn't it, Keegan?
Yes, it is March the 21st, 1882.
So I will be bringing Maddie a lovely bouquet.
And what is this a bouquet of? Because I feel we need to be really specific with our flower purchase in this game.
Okay. It was pink carnations. We have some lovely white lilies and some hibiscus flowers. And a lovely green bow.
Very nice indeed. And Zachary, as you provided the conveyance, did you come along as well, invited or uninvited, or did you just send your driver?
I think that the limit of my involvement to make things easier for her
Possibly
should be is to have paid for the stay, sent a carriage, and hey, I'll even have lunch ready for them when they come back from the country.
Indeed. So, Maddie, as you emerge from the doors on a blustery March morning, you find Lottie and Irene waiting for you.
Hello. I wasn't expecting anybody to meet me.
Oh, that's foolish. I mean, we're good companions, and you were struggling, so of course we're going to pick you up.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Certainly. I've reorganized some things at the house. I kind of went crazy waiting for you to come back, and there wasn't much going on, so I've reorganized the entire library. I've moved around some furniture. I've purchased some new ones. I've mocked up a design for a brochure in case we wanted to invite more people into the society. I've done a handful of things while you were gone. I'd be happy to show you at some point.
She's ever so good.
I'm just, antsy, I suppose, is what you could call it, but good's a nicer term, yes. But, for the most part, just been waiting for you to get back, so I was happy to come and greet you.
Thank you. I hope the travel here wasn't difficult.
No, less distance than Portsmouth, I think. So, shorter than I'm used to anyways. I don't know about Lady Irene, though.
Company is always nice. And she does look at Lottie with a smile. We've been keeping busy, as you've heard. These are for you. And she hands this surprisingly massive bouquet.
Oh.
To Maddie.
Thank you. I'll
You're all right.
Thank you. I'm a little unsure of things at the moment. Keeper, what sort of things did I experience while I was in the sanitarium?
Actually, surprisingly pleasant as Victorian sanatoriums go. This is a very expensive establishment, and I mean, there was possibly a few ice-cold baths and other rather unpleasant treatments, but as Victorian sanatoriums go, this is they're trying such radical therapies as walking in fresh air and talking about things, and I know it'll never catch on. Ever.
Let's return home, I think. You're muted.
It's going around today. Let's get you there and get you settled.
Okay, so you head back, taking the carriage back towards London, soon to the outskirts of the city coming into view, as you then trundle your way back through the northern suburbs, down past Regent's Park, and down to the very fashionable address of number 18 Grosvenor Square. Since redecorated, reorganised twice. Have you hired any new members of staff, or is it just James still?
Lottie wouldn't be Lottie's prerogative. Lottie decorated, reorganized, and translated. So any staffing would be Lady Irene.
Lady Irene probably hired some staff. James by himself, as much as he's amazing, is just one person. And it's a big house.
And somehow when they got home, there was a banner over the door that said, "Welcome back, Maddie." And then just balloons on the outside as well.
That's a bit uncomfortable.
We're just happy to have you back. Do you not like the fanfare? We can take it down.
Do we need to have the entire neighborhood know that I was gone?
I suppose not.
You might ask where I went.
And you can say to the country. You don't have to tell them the details. You just were out and about. But we missed you.
I mean, you had a relative pass away. You've dealt with a lot of different things. I don't think it's that abnormal to need to get away for a while. I mean, you're not even from here, technically. You could even say you went back to visit family in America.
I could. Well, that's neither here nor there, is it? Has anything happened while I was away, or has it been fairly quiet?
And too quiet.
In my opinion. Too quiet.
I assure you, Lottie has been investigating every noise and every scrap of news and anything that could be thought-provoking or esoteric in nature.
Yes, I think the cellar's haunted, but other than that, I haven't found anything.
Cellar's haunted?
I think so. But, I don't know. To be honest, I'm still not the biggest fan of Zachary. Not in a bad way. We're not very compatible souls, so I think it's possible that he's going into the cellar and making noises, but we'll see.
That seems completely unbelievable. He'd be paying someone else to go into the cellar and make noises.
He's intense. He has his way of doing things, and It's fascinating. It makes even the dullest moments not dull, but
I think it's good to have different people and opinions.
Mhm.
that's
Mhm.
what the Esoteric Society really should be, is us gathering different people and under a common cause.
Okay. Well, we can't have too many people in this society. Let's go inside. And I will go inside.
Okay, so you're heading inside the house. As
Mhm.
Zachary, as well as hanging a banner, are you also around the house, or did you just do this in absentia?
Due to thing that Roll indicated in chat,
Well,
I
I
will
was going to
not
say,
be. Yeah,
well,
I will not be present either way.
okay. So
He
you
will
have
be.
been. What have you been doing in these 3 months? What have you been trying to chase up, apart from annoying Lottie?
Well, that was just a happy accident. So he will have been using his connections and various methodologies to track down the full version of his book, which he's heard is in a private collection.
Is indeed, and you've had that quite a lot around because this is you're looking for this book, and it's the kind of book that not a lot of people have heard of. Even in you asking, like putting in feelers into the museums and the British Library, not a lot of information coming back. But after a few prodigious bribes, you find out where it likely was that whoever wrote your notes on monsters and their kind saw the book. The last known location for the book was in the collection of the Baronet of Pevensey, at Pevensey Hall, about an hour north of central London. Now, a little further digging would have given you 2 key bits of information. Firstly, that Baronet Pevensey is dead. Secondly, so was his successor and his successor's successor. In fact, we are now 3 Baronet Pevenseys on from the previous Baronet Pevensey. They are dropping dead at an alarming rate. It is possibly connected to the second fact. Pevensey Hall is widely regarded to be either haunted or cursed. And it is very few people who have held it have survived more than 5 years. Thirdly, the current Baronet Pevensey you would not have seen out and about around in London, as he is currently 10 years old, living at the Hall in the care of his aunt. They don't really engage much in London society, and without any connection to them, getting an invitation to the Hall might need a little bit of finessing.
Well, if there's anything that I am wonderful at, it's finesse. So I think the best course of action would be to obviously send a letter of introduction exactly 1 day before I leave to go there myself. Where the child is a 10-year-old, I will be acquiring. Was it a male or female child? Spawn little baby
Male
thing
child.
person.
The Baronet Pevensey can only be held by a male heir, as with many
how
baronets.
How not progressive.
The entire estate is entailed. All the property is passed down to the closest living male relative of the family.
So I will acquire I'll acquire 3 items. I will acquire a banknote for £50,000, a small automaton, like one of those ultra expensive action figures that only rich people have, that wind up and like do fighting stuff. and a brand new what are they called? What is the 10-year-olds like? Sorry, I'm new at liking kids.
You sent a letter asking for introduction. You would have received the morning, after, a letter saying, we are not taking visitors at this time.
Oh, I
The
wouldn't have
state is
waited
not-
for the letter. No, he sent the letter
It's only an hour north of London, and the Victorian post service is very fast, so you're likely to get a letter back before you've actually set off.
True.
We are not
Okay.
receiving guests at this time, as the house is not suitable for entertaining. Yours sincerely, Henrietta Penhew, on behalf of Baronet Aubrey Penhew. Short and slightly impolite.
I will then send a return letter that I appreciate her quick and timely response. However, there is a item in the possession of the family that I have been wanting to. It would be my honor and pleasure to look over, and I give the name of the book. I myself have read part of the book, and I would be elated and grateful to be able to read the rest. I have been led to believe that there are some housekeeping issues with the property, and that both it and the family have fallen in unfortunate times, and I would be willing to provide both a material restoration of the property as well as a thorough examination by professionals who have an expertise in cleaning of another sort. Enclosed is a note for £5,000 as a token of goodwill, and a present for young Master Aubrey, and then the little toy will be in a box.
And you receive a responding letter with your toy and the note enclosed. Thank you, Mr. Carnegie, but we do not require your charity. If you can pass us on the details of a medium or other suitable expert, that would be much appreciated. However, the estate is in perfect health at this time. Yours sincerely, Henrietta Penhew, on behalf of Baronet Aubrey Penhew. P.S. Please do not send us more money.
Well, that is unfortunate. You know, I'm half a mind to ride out to the country and forcibly take it from these bumpkins. I have the means. I can afford to have someone steal the item, or at the very least, neutralize the family long enough for me to search. But I'm not going to do that, because that is morally and ethically wrong, and I am a moral and ethical person. So, instead, I will send a very blunt letter that simply says, I am looking for the copy of Monsters and Their Kind that was owned by the late baronet. I would be willing to do just about anything within reason, and I have the resources to do so, to acquire this book. I do know a medium of some power and skill that I will be able to leverage in an effort to help address their other problems.
Dear Mr. Carnegie.
Love, Zach.
Dear Mr. Carnegie. We would appreciate your passing on the information of a medium and any other appropriate parties who may be able to help with certain unfortunate events around the estate. As to the book in question, I am not familiar with it, and we are not currently able to part with any items belonging to the estate. The estate in question is the property of Aubrey Penhew, and is to be held in trust until his majority. Please write again in 11 years' time. Yours sincerely, Henrietta Penhew, on behalf of Baronet Aubrey Penhew.
Oh God, I just wanted to get this done in the 3 months. Now I have to have someone killed. Ugh.
And this about brings us up to the current day that Maddie leaves the sanatorium. This is the day you get this yet another response from Henrietta Penroy.
Vince, why did you make me have to kill somebody? I didn't want to have to do this. I didn't want to arrange a murder before just during downtime. God, that's Oh well. Well, I start making inquiries, and then I go meet with the rest of the group.
Yeah. So this is the point you're at. You've received this letter the day that you then go to meet with the rest of the group at Grosvenor Square.
Oh, would I have had time to finish the book I already have? Because we had talked about that.
The book you already have, that is Notes on Monsters and Their
Yes,
Kind?
the abridged version.
Yes, you have had plenty of time to read that.
All right. So what is I just got to look up what the cost for that is.
I think you've already paid that in the past, haven't you not?
Well, not for finishing the book. I paid it for learning the summon best friend spell. I have not gotten the I've learned something.
In which case that is a 1d6 sanity loss and 3 points of mythos gain.
Excellent.
But yeah, this seems like, annoyingly, this is not a problem that money alone can solve.
Well,
But-
that remains to be seen. I can do a lot with money.
But you do, on the other hand, have the acquaintance
Oh yeah,
of
6 points.
a medium, a detective, and a well-connected young historian. If they can be persuaded to help with this matter.
All right. And since it was 3 months, did I have a month to check myself in? 'Cause
No,
I
you
believe-
this.
Okay.
Yeah. No. You have
All right,
spending this time
let's do
working
it.
on other matters.
Let's do it. Okay.
Oh, you're sitting in the library at Grosvenor Square, or I presume the library seems to be the go-to room for everything from secret discussions to plotting. Is there a fire burning in the grate? It's quite a warm day, so you possibly don't need it, but how are you feeling about a fire these days? Maddie?
Oh, Maddie still likes fire. If the fire wasn't in the fireplace yet, she would have started laying one.
Well,
And then
if
after-
requested, James or one of your other new servants would happily set a fire burning in the hearth for you. So the wind is whistling down the chimney. It's a windy morning. The fire burning in the grate. Tea has been provided.
I'm going to look at how the shelves are now organized since Detective Lottie took care of that, and see what other changes have been done to the library. And then after doing that, I'll sit down to tea.
Irene has been standing by the window, sipping her tea. The particular window that was shattered during our first foyer out, just kind of looking out.
Detective, were you able to decipher my uncle's journals?
Oh, yes, all of them at this point. There's a lot. But if you want to know anything, I can tell you. I know we were all sort of cherry-picked by him to be in this group. I know his life started out rather simple. There was a little bit of a cult, but I don't know. There's a good handful of knowledge that I could impart into you. That's just kind of here and there, different experiences he's had himself personally with the occult.
I think, considering that I only just got home, I should ease myself into it.
It's a lot.
The baths were unpleasant.
Yes, it's a lot to take in. It's not disturbing necessarily. It's just a lot. But we can get to it, and I've been working. Well, I've been creating legends and cipher guides and things, and including leaflets in the books. So either I can translate for you, or once you're ready, you can go through the effort of using the cipher to translate it yourself. Whatever works best. But I think we have a lot of work to do.
Yes. Are they in a secure location? They're not. I didn't see them on the shelves here.
Oh, no, yes, I have them. I went ahead and purchased some glass cases similar to the ones that were in the library previously. So they're locked away. You can still see them and view them, but yes, what room did I put them in his old bedroom, actually. So they're there.
Thank you.
Been a little nice way of honoring him.
Yeah. Try to do my best. I didn't know him that well, but he's a good man, for the most part. Yeah, we're all good for the most part, I think, when it comes to the occult. It's hard to be involved in things that we are and not be a little morally gray sometime, but
Almost
And
on
as you say,
cue.
morally grey, the door to the library opens.
And there's the first person to enter is obviously a servant, and he's awkwardly carrying a large cake that in fondant says, "Welcome home, Maddie, you were missed." And he kind of awkwardly sets it onto a table, and that have I been muted that entire time?
No.
Oh, thank God. Okay. I saw the little flashing light and I got scared. And then sweeping into the room with a giant smile on his face is Zachary. Initially, he was going to wear his usual red on red suit, but he remembered that Maddie has a thing for that color, and has decided to go with meaning that he doesn't want to trigger her fire addiction because he doesn't know if she still has that. So instead, he's coming in a completely white suit with a little red cravat. Given how pale he is and the fact that he's also an albino, it is stark. He looks like a ghost with like hollow circles under his eyes and a giant smile on his face. Maddie, it's great to see you back. Detective, it is an absolute pleasure. And Lady Irene, he actually bows and kind of takes her hand and plants a kiss on it. His skin is feverishly hot. I have certainly missed you all. Again, I apologize for the banners. I just wanted to highlight the fact that we've all missed Maddie a great deal. Uh, and speaking as someone who's taken many a vacation in facilities such as that, I can assure you that I definitely understand the uh, the process and the what you may have experienced during your time. And I wanted to make sure you knew that you were missed a great deal by the people in your life. Even though I am a recent one, I still have come to regard you with a certain amount of marked affection. And with that in mind, and with that in mind, I come to my friends with a chance to truly embrace the esoteric in London, esoteric society. I have a job for us.
A job?
What?
Indeed. It's absolutely fascinating. There is an estate out an hour north of London or so that is reputed to be haunted. Several I mean, the heirs are dropping like flies. The only ones left are a rather stodgy woman who I believe I'm going to hate, and a 10-year-old boy. In the artifacts of the estate, there is a particular book that I have an interest in acquiring. One that may help us in dealing with the family in question that we've come to have issue with. And I, in the last few months, have decided that perhaps my tack of seeking answers to my problems in the forms of potentially nefarious people or treasured heirlooms that you all have that I honestly, I am absolutely gauche for attempting to look at previously. I have no wish to do that now. I have decided that we can kill two birds with one stone. We can be a force of good and help liberate this place from its potential haunting and cursed nature, and at the same time, I can acquire something that may aid us in our goal of taking care of that odious family.
Irene is looking to Lottie and Maddie.
And Lady Irene would be an asset on this. They have asked specifically if I know a medium, and I happen to know the best in all of London.
Stop. Lottie, you were looking for something to do.
Yes. Yes, and if it's an opportunity for you, then I'm definitely interested in that.
And of course, I am more than happy to compensate all of you for your time and trouble.
The main person I'm concerned about is Maddie. She just got back from her vacation. And while this is going on, Lady Irene is cutting Maddie a sizable slice of cake.
I've been watching a lot of the Great British Baking Show lately, and so I have in my mind this showpiece cake of something just obnoxious, like Starry Night by Van Gogh, but in like reflective fluorescent see-through spun sugar and all this other nonsense.
Considering the time period, most of it's probably inedible.
Oh, this one's very definitely inedible, but there's a bottom layer that's edible.
Yeah. Where Irene is cutting a giant piece for Maddie. I got a cake for you, Maddie. Never
It's an
seen
American
such.
delicacy, actually. Trying to find someone in London that could make it was trying, but I did. It's called Red Velvet, a personal favorite of mine.
Maddie will nibble on it. She is just trying to take everything in right now. She's not sure how she feels about anything at this second.
Well, obviously, I don't expect everyone to jump on this right at the moment, and I for one, have, again, I am not speaking in hyperbole. I have missed you very much, Maddie. You are a source of interesting events that I have come to find breaks up the tedium of my existence. By the way, there's no hot water anywhere, right? Oh, tea, and I back off.
Actually, I was curious. Would you describe what happened the night that you decided I needed to go to the sanitarium?
Well, you were very much out of sorts. There was a moment or two that Lady Irene, and I can't speak for her, but I know I certainly felt like I was in danger. There were some very, very strange goings on leading to people in your past. And so I had to have you extricated from the scene because you were going to hurt yourself. After that, you became quite hysterical. But again, I apologize for having you taken away in such a manner, but it seems that you are hale and healthy and certainly seem a lot more, you've taken possession of yourself and your actions a lot more readily than you did before.
As he's describing it, you'll see that she's started to pick at her hands around the nail beds. Not quite making it bleed, but definitely picking at her skin around the nails. She's a little unsettled still. She's gotten some of her sanity back, but she's still very, very unsure about everything and nervous. Okay, I vaguely remember some of that.
It was quite intense.
I, for one, was partially terrified.
I was very concerned that we weren't going to make it out of there.
But we did, and that is truly the important thing. All of us are accounted for, hale and hearty for the most part, and have used this time to, I'm assuming to better ourselves. I know that you've been recovering. I'm sure Detective Shaw has solved many, many cases in the interim, and all of them with aplomb and skill. And Lady Irene has once again proven that she is the greatest medium in all of London, and I dare say, one of the most fetching.
And there's kind of this look that's like, I don't need to toot my own horn.
Don't worry, I'll toot it for
you. There's definitely this. She has the cup in her hand and she turns back to the window. But what I'm saying is, yes, we all improved ourselves in a modicum of ways, and it has been 3 months since anything really happened. To quote Zachary a little, I am itching for some stimulation.
It's been quiet for 3 months. So It really was all me.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. Correlation and causation aren't the same.
Well, not always, but what do you know about the Baronet? Other than that, they're cursed or haunted?
I know that they are I know that they have a house about an hour north that is largely regarded as cursed. I know that the former baronet had a library of some interest for people in my circles, as well as those that I believe were part of the founding of both the society and its prior occupant. And so it stands to reason that this is a very beneficial thing. I can also tell you that I believe Henrietta is the name of the guardian of young Master Aubrey, and she is certainly a pill. I am not a fan.
He didn't
Not
try
very
to woo
reasonable.
her?
Me? I now, Maddie, I don't pay court to every woman that comes across my path, only the interesting ones. And
Well,
I
you wanted something from her.
That doesn't mean that I'm going to do that. I often want Detective Shaw's skills, but I have no intention of trying to woo her, nor do I think she did any intention of accepting it if I did. I believe that I would probably be shot.
That's probably true.
Very smart.
Yes. See, I can read a room as well as anyone.
But do you have the letters?
I do. And
May I read them?
Absolutely. Here you go. And one of the letter, you could tell like two of them have been crumpled, and he patiently unfolds them and hands them over. I do apologize for the state of the last two of those. I will confess to being slightly put out by the responses. Do you have any idea how difficult it was tracking down that toy for that child?
No. I'm going to read them and the back and forth in order of which they would have been written.
And he pulls out a little box that has the toy in it as she's reading, and he just winds it up and it starts swinging around, and he's kind of smiling.
Irene is fascinated by the toy. I don't think she's ever seen anything quite like it, honestly.
Isn't this amazing? A 10-year-old would love this. I know when I was 10, if they had such innovations, I would have wanted one.
She just kind of pokes it a little.
Look at him. Look at his little sword. Look at it. Look at it. He's going like this.
Yeah, there's this weird, almost childishness, juvenilence that comes up.
Keeper, and I do notice the original response is polite, correct?
It's terse. It's not fully polite, but it's, politely dismissive, and it sort of gets more on the dismissive and terse side as it goes. All very impeccably written on with very elegant handwriting, though.
Okay. Well, Lottie, not Lottie. I'm sorry. I meant Lady Irene. Here, you'll need to read these so that you can adequately convey what you are willing to do with for them. to assess their curse or haunting. And then you will want to be the one to respond.
All right. And and she pours herself another cup of tea, sits down. It's very much like she had that childish jubilance with the toy for a second, and then it's, oh, I'm prim proper Victorian lady. Oh, all right.
Yeah, sets it down on the desk where she's reading the letters and maybe writing them, like a little desk toy that someone would have in their office nowadays.
And she does look over. You said that every baronet has died. The past 3, correct? That have owned the hall.
Yes, none of them seem to last more than 5 years. It's like this estate turns people into mayflies. It's terrible. We would be doing a service breaking this curse and potentially saving the life of a 10-year-old. Very altruistic, if you ask me.
I am very into saving the life of a 10-year-old.
Indeed.
And very into potentially breaking this curse. Keeper, would I know anything about this hall? Is this, ring any bells from the occult knowledge side?
There's definitely rumors about it. It's said to be cursed. It's connected with a string of not just the early deaths and disappearances as well of baronets, but it's not the hall that anyone willingly goes to stay at, because guests have been known to go mad, die, or disappear there as well. The family that currently owns it, the Penhues, are somewhat excluded from London society due to this kind of cloud of ill omen about them. People don't tend to want to associate with the one where everyone they know dies under horrible circumstances. You know that a while back one of the baronets was obsessed with getting mediums in to try and cleanse the house, but that was about 20 years ago. The last couple of baronets haven't really engaged outside services.
Interesting. So it seems they're at least trying to do something about it again. So, all right. Lady Irene will write a letter. And it's very much a detailing of the London Esoteric Society that Zachary Carnegie has informed us of a particular plight regarding their home and their people. And I will start detailing some of the services that we can provide. Research, detective work. I detail that I am a medium and have seen quite a bit in London at large with the occult. And we would like to offer to assist the house.
Okay, so the next day...
There's a very big focus on the fact that Zachary has brought this to our attention and that he wants to help.
So the next day, you receive a response. Dear Lady Irene, we would be most glad to engage your services, and are happy to put you up at Pevensey Hall for as long, you and your companions, for as long as is convenient. We are much appreciative, and you'll be... I've forgotten the word. a fancy word for paid. My mind's gone blank at the moment.
Compensated.
Compensated, thank you. You'll be well compensated for your services, etc., etc. Some more sort of elegant wording, finished off with, yours sincerely, Henrietta Penhew, on behalf of Baronet Aubrey Penhew.
The tone definitely seems more polite and friendly here.
Oh, definitely.
We have a invite to come and stay at the hall and stay as long as we need to, and promise of some form of payment.
Absolutely wonderful. Lady Irene, you are the key that could unlock 1,000 forbidden doors. This is excellent. I'm so glad. And as far as their compensation, I have already determined what that will be. As far as compensation to all of you, I will be taking care of that. So let's say £1,000 to each of you.
Done. Fine with that. Sounds good. Don't need to negotiate. Sounds great.
And that still leaves me with $2,000 for my monthly allowance.
And then I just picture Lottie looking at him saying that. It almost looks like she sees him grow 2 heads, and she immediately looks down, and it's just, okay. That's what I'm picturing.
All right, sounds good.
And just so
Maddie
we're
paid absolutely no attention to the amount of money. She's counting on her fingers and muttering to herself a little bit. When will we be going?
I will, whenever you are prepared, I will send a letter saying when we'll be there. Maddie, I wonder if you would like something to busy your hands. Perhaps you can research something about this hall and see if there's anything in the back records, and see if there's something with the family line, maybe. Who knows?
Oh, yes, I was counting what I needed to bring.
Oh.
Let's see. And she'll wander off a little. She'll head up to her room, grab her book of nameless cults, pocket that, and then she'll go back into the library and pull up what she can find on the Baronet. If the house library has anything.
Well, make me a library use roll, please.
And that is a hard success.
Okay, so first of all, you get the details of the lineage of the title, the Baronet Pevensey from Burke's Peerage. It would detail sort of who's held it and how the title has been passed down, going all the way back from the first Baronet in 1634 down through more or less an almost straight line through firstborn sons up until 1796 with the 6th Baronet, Henry Godford, who disappeared unexpectedly in the middle of the night, never to be seen again. It seems it took some time to sort out the estate after that, and since then have been this string of missing baronets, disappearances, deaths, and often long hunts to find who actually is the next heir to the estate. A couple of generations ago it passed into the Penhew family, of which 2 baronets have since been lost, now leaving it to a 10-year-old child.
Okay, and I will make notes of all of that. And
Henry Godford does actually get a mention briefly as a well-known collector of unusual literature, and noted for having dabbled in alchemy and other pursuits that could almost best be described as esoteric. He had an interest in all manner of things and got into a little bit of trouble with the church at one point for apparently it's not detailed what he was in trouble. It's just details. Got into trouble with the local church.
All right, so I'll make a note of that.
He was the one that disappeared.
Yes, I'll make a note of that as well. And then, does it say the name of the church that he was local to, that he got in trouble with?
So the man he got in trouble to was actually like the bishop of like the diocese in which Pevensey Hall is in, but it was originally reported by the vicar at like the church near to Pevensey Hall. But this was back in 1796.
Right. So a visit to that church might very well have more information on to why he got in trouble. All right, I'll make note of all of that. And
yeah, it would probably be the bishop of St. Albans, would be the bishopric or diocese. If I'm getting my diocese boundaries correct.
I have no idea.
I don't know either. Okay, I'll take that note down, and I'll wander over to Detective Shaw and pass that to her. When we get there, I'll need to go to their church, see if they have any other information.
Sounds good.
If you'd like to go with me.
Yes, of course. Would love to. I'll do anything. I'm getting paid for it. Shine your shoes if you like.
Lady Irene definitely looks at Lottie and it's like she sits down next to her. Are you okay?
Yes.
Is everything fine?
Work's been slow.
Boredom is awful. Believe me, I can completely relate to that.
I forgot to tell everyone that I was fired.
Oh.
So I'm excited about this. I'm just, I'm better than okay. I'm a bit giddy. Yes, well, I used information from my detective agency that got us into a bit of a problem at that greenhouse, and then I shot a man in the foot, and I've had to go back and forth with family, and the agency let me go. So I'm just excited to have income.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's fine.
Would you like to consider that a down payment on a retainer then?
I'm okay with that. I'm hoping that we can eventually get some form of income through the society.
Your buddies.
You're always welcome to stay here.
I believe
thank
she's
you.
been staying.
I have been. Yes, I
I
closed out my room.
Well, if the goal is to have money coming through the society, then I think that the best course of action would be to find, let's say, a wealthy benefactor with a knowledge of the occult and belief in the supernatural, who would be able to sponsor the society and take care of its monetary needs while it does the investigations that it needs to do in order to make the world a better place. And I just so happen to know someone who is in a position to facilitate this and can assist the society in its endeavors, as well as paying for its needs and, frankly, wants. whilst doing good, so people that can't pay for their services are able to still get them at a premium. That's
My
me.
uncle's money.
That's me, by the way.
Uh, I look at Lady Irene. Is the estate paying for the wages of the employees here?
The estate has been paying, and I've been trying to throw money towards the estate since it's our estate now. I feel very beholden to make sure that this place stays in proper shape.
In which case, the estate's money should be used to maintain the estate. This arrangement with a wealthy benefactor would merely cover the operation expenses.
So nice of you, Zachary.
Oh, you thought I meant me. I did. I definitely did. I'm that guy. I'm the wealthy, occult-minded patron who can help facilitate things.
Now I'm concerned that we just became Victorian Call of Cthulhu Charlie's Angels.
I'm definitely Charlie.
Wow, who knows?
So, having sort of made some monetary short-term arrangement, was there anything you wanted to do in London before heading up to Pevensey Hall? And
Well, if Maddie and Detective Shaw are going to be, I know they both kind of touched on doing something together real quick. Zachary does need to have a word with Lady Irene privately.
okay. So, sorry, what were Maddie and Lottie doing?
I think we were going to a church, but I think that's when we get there.
That's up
not
at
now.
Pevensey.
Yes.
Yeah, but you'll have a chance there'll be a chance to discuss before you head up there. As I said, it's only an hour out of London, so it's up to you if you want to go today, tomorrow, next week. Today is the 22nd of March. When would you like to go?
Probably the sooner the better. Detective, we should probably pack for at least a fortnight, depending on how long this will take.
Yes. Oh, I wanted to mention, you brought up staffing, and I hadn't even thought about it. But I do know a good doctor, medical examiner type in Portsmouth that I think could potentially work with us, and that way, instead of I don't know, you seemed kind of perturbed about people knowing that you've been out of town, and I think maybe if we had someone on the estate who could help you in the event that you, if any of us encounter things that are rather troubling, it'd be nice to have someone available who could potentially help with that in-house. I could send a letter if you'd like.
Yes, actually, I think that would be quite beneficial as having a medical aid here on the premises.
I'll do that.
And Maddie is going to wander up to her bedroom and start packing.
Okay, so as Maddie heads up to pack and Lottie writes to her doctor friend down in Portsmouth, Zachary and Irene get a moment alone before the party departs for Pevensey Hall.
So, Lady Irene, first off, allow me to say that it's been cold and dark without your presence in my life. You are a light that continuously warms my days and, I dare say, my evenings. I need to discuss something with you very, very briefly. Am I wrong in saying that you are pretty much the only ally I have within the society at present? Outside of Detective Shaw's greed, of course.
Just because Detective Shaw wants to shoot you at some point if you were to try and flirt with her, does not mean that she hates you. She has
Lady
shot people
Irene,
for less.
I assure you, I would rather have an entire school of trout burst from my chest and throat than attempt to fish those waters. I would say instead that as a result of this, I do feel the need to say that uh, that book is the reason I'm doing this. I mean, don't get me wrong, altruism is all well and good, and I'm happy to potentially save the life of a 10-year-old, but there is a book there that I require. I have part of it already, and I need the full version. That is what I need. So if it comes down to it, I would like your assistance in making sure that should a vote be called or anyone is morally waffling on whether I should have access to the book, that you might put in a good word for me.
I will do the best I can, Zachary. I understand
Excellent.
that you are interested in these matters, and you seem rather astute at it.
Compliments.
If you don't mind me saying. I mean, Chaucer is fascinating enough as it is. But
And if you would like, I can teach you how to call upon him yourself. He's a great listener.
that might be interesting. Anyways,
Chaucer also has family. I can potentially see if he can hook you up with one of his brothers. I love playing matchmaker. So, excellent. Then...
yes, I will help you in the matter of trying to find this book. I will say my priority is towards the altruistic. So
Oh, of course, of course. The life of a child is the most precious thing in the world. Yes, of course. But again, you know, a priority, of course, is saving the 10-year-old's life. But I highly doubt that this book will factor into that. In fact, if the book is what's potentially causing it, getting rid of it from the estate may be the best way to save the child's life.
Exactly.
And I am wonderful with danger. I'm very good at it.
You seem to be very good at dealing with it in some ways, and by that I mean you tend to pass out very easy, but it's all right. We can make this work, and I'm very curious about what's going on at this hall.
Oh, Lady Irene, one could glut themselves on your praise and compliments until they are stuffed and fat and ready to go to bed. So, sagacious and wonderful, you've proven to be one more time. I will begin packing my own preparations. 2 weeks is perfectly fine. I imagine that would only be 2 steamer trunks or so. Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your conversation and I dare say assistance. I will be ready to go post haste. And yes, meet if you can. Would you rather I meet you here, or would you rather you all meet me at the Savoy?
You can meet us here. It's fine.
Excellent. I shall return in 5 hours.
All right.
Okay, so as everyone is packed and prepared to head up to Pevensey Hall, I think this would be a good point for us to just go to break, and we'll be back in 10 minutes time. We'll see you soon. All right. And we have returned. So, our party of investigators are heading up on a little trip. Just about an hour outside of London, there is a beautiful hall called Pevensey Hall that suffers from a slight problem of A, being cursed with a horrible curse that causes everyone who owns it, goes near it or stay in it, to disappear, drop dead or go mad, and B, suffers from the horrible situation of having something that Zachary wants and not being willing to sell it. Which of these will prove to be the most deadly remains to be seen. But our investigators have packed their bags and gone up to do a little bit of light mediumship, investigation, and possibly theft. I don't think it's been entirely decided yet at Pevensey Hall. So as we pick up, you're arriving through the gates of the hall, down this long drive towards the house. And I have included an image of the appropriate style of house in the Roll20. For the listeners at home, this is a brick sort of Jacobean-looking mansion with very, very grand towers on the end, with sweeping lawns out the front. And are you arriving by car or by carriage?
Carriage. Outside of London, I'm not trusting the roads with my Phantom.
Fair enough. So it doesn't take you, 3 days to get there. And as you arrive up to the front, you're greeted by a housekeeper dressed in the most incredibly starched looking uniform you have ever seen. Like, you can almost smell and taste the starch from a 5 meter distance looking at her. She looks like she's got a ruler stapled to her back. She's standing ever so straight, ever so smart, with this look of deep and abiding disapproval on her face.
And faced with that, Zachary has gone into full Zachary mode because he loves that expression. Good evening, afternoon. I don't know which one it is. I'm here to see Henrietta, please. We are the London Esoteric Society. She is aware of our coming.
Yes, you are expected. Please come this way. I will get a footman to bring up your bags.
And for a second, he hesitates, but then he goes, "Oh, right, I was invited." And then he steps over the threshold.
This way. Miss Penhew is waiting for you in the red parlour. Come this way. And she leads you through this grand sort of hallway that stretches up multiple stories with light coming in from the windows and above. And then through a very nice library. You can see books and smell their pages on the air, and it's just, even by looking you can tell this is an interesting looking library. There's books that you've seen from Sir John's library there, books you're not familiar with. But you don't get much of a chance to view them in detail before you're led through into the parlour. And as this is all going on, anyone who wishes to may make me a listen check.
That is a success.
That is, quite incredibly, 2 successes from a success from Lady Irene and a success from Lottie, and incredibly 2 fumbles.
I don't know why it's rolling twice for me.
You click the purple one.
Oh, so it's the green one I want?
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you roll the purple, you just read the middle line.
Okay.
I don't know how one fumbles on the listen check, but let's just say you don't hear anything of interest.
I'm absorbed by the books we walked past.
You're
but,
dead.
You're deafened for life. No, there's no great danger here.
Yet.
But Lottie and Irene, you both hear, as you're sort of turning to the hall, you hear a sound from upstairs. It sounds like a thud, 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 thud of something falling downstairs quite heavily, followed by a crash of something breaking.
Oh, something fall.
The housekeeper doesn't seem to have noticed the sound.
Is anyone else, who, that something fell? Did you not hear that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
No.
sorry, I was too aroused at the thought of what we're about to do to listen to anything else. What was that?
I heard something fall down the stairs.
A crash?
I will go and find out. It's possibly Master Aubrey.
Oh, that's not good. Is he okay? Does this happen often?
10-year-old.
10-year-olds are very resilient. You can bounce them downstairs and they're usually fine.
Oh.
I would hope he has dropped something down the stairs, but I will go and inquire. Miss Penhew is in there, and she waves you through the door and then hurries off upstairs to investigate the noise.
Look at that. We don't have a chaperone to walk through the door. Is anybody else feeling as scandalized as I am?
I'll walk through the door first, making sure my skirts and everything is nice and neat. I've got a black veil on because I'm still technically in mourning, and it hasn't been 6 months yet. Dressed all in black, and I'll, walk through the door.
Zachary is still in his ghost gear, although he does turn to Detective Shaw, and it was my cravat straight.
Yes. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yes.
Thank you.
And as you enter, you see the red parlour lives up to its description. There is a lot of red in the decoration. It's got red drapes, red settee, red carpets, all paired up with this dark wood panelling on the walls. But seated amidst it is a woman, probably looks to be in her mid-40s, dressed in this kind of greyish blue dress that's very somber, very unadorned, almost Puritan, one could describe it as. And she sets down a book to one side as you enter. The London Esoteric Society, I presume?
In the flesh.
Henrietta Penhew. I am currently overseeing the estate on behalf of my nephew.
A pleasure to meet you. I am Martha Carter, grandniece to the late Sir John Wallace.
Oh, John Wallace, some form of Egyptologist, am I correct?
Among other things, yes. He passed away just before Christmas.
Oh, I am very sorry for your loss.
This is Lady Irene von Watts, with whom you've been in communication.
The famed medium.
Detective Lottie Shaw. And this is
Zachary Carnegie the Fourth, scion of the Carnegie family in America. Steel, mostly. We've also been in contact, and let me say, Henrietta, that you look exactly like how I pictured you.
Thank you. Now, I trust I made the situation clear in the letters. I want to put an end to this nonsense about hauntings and curses, and to be able to say once and for all that there is nothing wrong with Pevensey Hall. That whatever unfortunate accidents happened here in the past, they were just that, accidents, and there is no ghost stealing away people in the night, and there is no ancient family curse. I trust if you, as respected mediums and members of London Society, were to write a piece to say that everything at Pevensey Hall has been resolved, then we'd be able to put the whole matter to rest.
Well, as the new owner of the London Post, I don't see that being a major difficulty. Well, maybe not owner, but I inadvertently sit on the board. In exchange, I feel that it is incumbent upon us to assist you in this matter. Obviously, the family has been for some time living under the pall of rumor and superstition, and as a result, you fit the category of client that we look for the most. In regards to payment, I've compensated the group on your behalf. What we would like in exchange is my research indicates that there is a particular book loan that was previously owned by the late scion of this family, and I am looking to acquire it. I believe that a book that you're not using in exchange for the removal of any potential nefariousness and restoration of the reputation of your house would be a fair trade.
And I would be, if this matter is resolved, as well as paying the society for their time, I do not need your charity, sir. I would be very happy to give you access to the estate's libraries. However, as I believe I made clear in my letter, I am not entitled to sell any of the collection.
Of
It
course
is a
not.
legal matter.
Of course not. I would never ask you to sell anything. However, I am no solicitor by any stretch of the imagination. Young Master Aubrey does have the clemency to bestow part of his estate, and where you are his guardian until such time as his age of majority, if he is willing to acquiesce to this, then you would have the ability to acquiesce to this.
I would have to consult with my solicitor. The property itself and a good portion of its contents is entailed. I do not know if that falls down to the specifics of library books. There may be some leeway for that under small supernumerary items that we would be permitted to sell.
Or gift.
Or gift away. Yes, indeed.
Excellent.
I will look into that with my solicitor, but you would actually have to speak to Aubrey on that matter as well. He is quite attached to the library books.
Excellent. I believe young Master Aubrey and I are going to get along wonderfully. But these are the real investigators. I know next to nothing about anything, and I will let them proceed with what they do best.
Yes.
I understand completely how Zachary feels here. He loves learning and reading and is very fascinated. I'm perfectly happy to deal with access to the library for the moment.
Well,
Sir
during the
Aubrey-
course of your investigation, you would of course have full access to all areas of the house.
Of course.
And following this investigation, were any old and unused items to be misplaced, that would be entirely understandable. Such things happen occasionally, even in the greatest of houses.
That is true. Completely understandable. Would you mind detailing for me some more specifics about the rumors and disappearances? Is there any pattern, any specificity of
It
bumps in the
always
night,
it
or
always occurs at night. The disappearances themselves, there's little to go on other than that the person appears to have left, leaving all their possessions and clothing behind them. But there have only been a few actual disappearances. More often there are bouts of irrational behaviour among some of the servants. We've had to let several servants go over the last few years. They talk of hearing strange noises in the corridors at night and seeing shadows moving.
interesting?
Of course, we will need to speak with them if you have their contacts, so that we might get
I'm afraid I don't have the
proper
contacts
account.
for the ones that were let go, but one of the
Perhaps your housekeeper
maids,
or butler would know.
one of the maids did report herself hearing noises. Mary is her name. She has otherwise remained perfectly good at her job, so I've kept her on for the time being. That's Mary Watts. But as for the ones that were let go, they are no longer my concern. I do not keep extensive records of the whereabouts of previous servants.
Makes total sense. You have released them from your employ, so why would you keep knowing their comings and goings?
Mary does claim she saw something when she was cleaning the hearths early one morning. But as I said, this is all nonsense and imaginations. When all you have to go on are the imaginations of a flighty girl and a child with too much imagination for his own good, then
So Aubrey has also seen.
he has an
comings and
overactive
going.
imagination. I am fairly sure he has just latched onto whatever Mary said she saw and has got a little carried away with it.
That is possible. He is a 10-year-old boy, after all.
Exactly. But in the past, the claims were that there was some kind of haunting or creature that would come at night and steal away those who had not taken precautions against it. Some of our most superstitious servants still put salt on the thresholds of their doors at night.
Creatures coming in the middle of the night to steal people away. Preposterous.
I know. Quite preposterous. But please excuse if you see several horseshoes above the doors around the place. As I said, the servants, they are a superstitious bunch.
It's perfectly fine. We've dealt with situations involving a multitude of superstitions and superstitious in nature individuals. I'm pretty sure we can get this fully sorted, and I mean, just us staying here for an extended visit will assuage some of that, just in general nature.
Indeed, indeed. So, as I said, you have the entire run of the estate. You may talk to anyone you wish, question the servants. I've had rooms made up for you upstairs. If there's anything you require of me, either let me know or Mrs. Bradford, the housekeep, will be happy to handle matters for you.
Yes, I do have a question. Would it be possible to look into, if you have access, personal family histories? I've looked a little bit into the family history and became aware that Henry Godford was quite an eclectic, and that he might have collected a few things that might breed some of these superstitions.
Yes, he is the one responsible for the entanglement of entailments upon the house, and he was very keen that nothing here be let go.
Would you have any of his journals that we might read?
I'm
See
not aware
where
of any
he might have...
journals he kept, but as I said, almost every belonging of his is on the estate somewhere, because, as I may point out, he explicitly forbade anyone selling anything.
Then one would reason that there's a ledger or inventory somewhere, that way he could keep account of everything that no one was allowed to take.
I'm sure Mrs. Bradford can dig it out for you.
Excellent.
So we will set to work.
Ding, 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 ding. Mrs. Bradford, would you see to it if there are any, inventories dating back to, this would be, late 18th century, when the 6th Baronet held the estate. I think, Mr. was it Carnegie? Is that how you say it?
Carnegie. Don't worry, everybody
Carnegie.
pronounces it. Yes, everybody pronounces it Carnegie over here. It's the weirdest thing.
Well, he seems to require some light reading tonight.
I would like to start by speaking with young Master Aubrey. The imagination of children is one of my favorite. If not for that, we wouldn't have had Shakespeare or Albertus Magnus. All sorts of people have discovered things from their imagination as children, and I very much would like to speak with him. I, too, had quite an overactive imagination when I was a child.
Yes, Mrs. Bradford, where is Aubrey? I sent him to his room. He had thrown a suit of armor down the second staircase. He claims he was testing to see whether it would dent.
I'm going to love this child. I can already tell.
I will bring him down in a moment. The school.
Oh no, that's fine. Where's the room? I will let you all address this. I will speak with young Master Aubrey presently, seeing as we have run of the house. I have to get something from my bag anyway.
Well, any more questions for me before you begin investigations?
No, I do not have any. Thank you very much for your time and inviting us here. We will do what we can to solve this problem.
Detective Lottie, do you have any questions, as you are our resident detective?
I like to get a lay of the land before I ask questions, typically. So, we'll look around and investigate, and I'll probably have a lot of questions later. That's typically how I work.
Makes sense. And, was there a particular corridor that seems to have most of these superstitious rumors? These salacious philanderings happening?
It mostly seems to, of recent, been up, by the green room and the green dressing room on the first floor, leading to the tower.
That's good. I will cast my thoughts into that hallway and see what we get.
Okay, so what does everyone wish to do as a first sort of point of call here? I know Zachary wants to fetch something from his carriage. I presume this is the toy.
Yes, he is getting a toy and a drawing that he had made of Chaucer.
Okay. So is anyone else going with Zachary to talk to Aubrey? Is this a group action? Or does anyone else like to?
Yeah, that's fine. I would go.
Maddie would like to get a tour of the household, both the ground floor, the first floor, and any sort of basements that they might have.
Okay. So Maddie's getting a tour. Lottie and Zachary are talking to a child. Irene, what would you like to do?
Irene will probably want to try and see if Mary's about, and then possibly take a look at this hallway.
Okay, so Irene's looking for Mary, and then possibly sort of we could combine things here. Let's say Mary can give a tour for Maddie and Irene and show you the corridor. How does that? That seems
That makes sense. That's perfect.
So we will get to that in just a moment, because first of all, we have to see whether Zachary really is as good with children as he claims to be. So having
Very, very good with children.
retrieved
Children love me.
the toy, the two of you head to the downstairs schoolroom, where that waiting for you, sort of kicking his heels back and forth, is a very smartly dressed 10-year-old boy, like smart shirt, polished shoes, like, you know, classic Victorian child, like socks and shorts combo. Yeah, kicking his heels back and forth. He sat on the edge of this desk. As Mrs. Bradford shows you in, the first thing she says, "Aubrey, get down." Yep.
I presume that this is the master of the house and the one who tested the armor so adequately.
And Mrs. Bradford gives a nod, and Aubrey says, "I suppose, yeah, master of the house."
Well, then I ask welcome from the master of the house, and he kneels before the 10-year-old, like someone looking to be knighted, and holds out the box with the toy in it. As a traveler on the lands of young Master Aubrey, I come bearing gifts in honor of his great lineage. And he gives that same kind of, it's actually a genuine smile, like he's having fun playing Lord of the Manor with a 10-year-old.
What is it?
I
it a
think
knife?
you'll like it.
Yeah,
Yes,
takes it out
now
of the box.
now you have plenty of suits of armor here in your establishment, but if you turn that little key in the back.
Yeah, I know how clockwork works. You've seen it. It's clockwork, right? You wind it up, and it sets the gears in motion, and then it goes by a series of cogs interconnecting with each other, right?
Indeed.
Can I
Go
take it
ahead.
apart?
Yes, actually, I made sure that there was a little catch on the side, so that way if you wanted to go inside and see how it works, you'll be able to do so.
Brilliant. That's great.
Do you already have a clockwork toolkit, sir?
No, but I've got some tools upstairs. I was trying to make a model replica of Nelson's flagship, but then it sank. I didn't consider it had a hole in the bottom. It was a whole thing, but I'm gonna try and make another one soon. Although I can't remember with boats. I was gonna. You wanna come and hey? I've been building a replica of the pyramids of Giza outside in the garden. Do you want to see?
Absolutely. Let's go.
You too, miss? Sorry, I didn't get your name. My aunt says I need to work on my manners. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Detective Lottie.
You're a detective? Like,
Yes,
as in you like catch murderers and like, you know, solve like creepy locked room mysteries, that sort of thing.
There's something like that.
Have you ever seen a dead body?
It's not that interesting, but yes, a handful.
Like more than one? How did they die?
Well, I saw one. My most recent was a case of spontaneous combustion.
Like as in they just caught fire?
Yes.
And don't forget the drownings on dry land.
Yes, I've seen a couple. I saw a whole tangle of them weaved into a plant. That was interesting.
Please tell me everything.
Sure.
And as he walks you outside to show you his model of the pyramids. He's
No one
busy,
will believe you because you're a
quizzing
child.
Lottie
So
about,
Lottie will tell him everything.
Yes, Detective Shaw is a famous detective in London, and I am a cultist.
You're a cultist? Like a real cultist? What kind of cult are you in?
Cultist.
Oh.
Cultist.
Cultist.
Cultist. And amateur wizard.
You're a wizard? Can you do magic?
I am. I can.
Can you make people's heads explode?
Not yet.
Yeah. No.
Could you, like, something like a massive tidal wave and, like, wash everything away?
I'm working on it. If I had an
How
assistant
about
who was
ghosts?
particularly...
Can you talk to ghosts?
I have a friend that can. She hasn't taught me that trick yet.
Can I meet
She's
her?
here, actually. You can. But only
Brilliant.
after we see these pyramids.
Yeah, right. So if we start up here on the top of the stream, up here we have the pyramids of Giza. We've got, and he starts talking you through, in quite a lot, the kind of detail you get from a 10-year-old with few friends who's read quite a lot of books on Egyptology. So that is to say,
As a fellow 10-year-old with few legitimate friends when he was growing up, Zachary is actually glowing and happily bantering with him over the pyramids.
okay. So as you're having this little discussion, back in the house, Irene and Maddie are introduced to this slightly nervous-looking maidservant. Miss Carter, Lady Irene, it's an honor. Miss Henriette said you had some questions.
Yes, we do. Do you mind if we take a tour of the house
yeah,
first?
no.
Or so that we can get the lay of how everything is, and you can tell us any details that you might know of what might be happening?
Oh, it's haunted, this place. She starts walking you through. My nan used to work here when she was a girl, and she said while she was working here, the butler up and disappeared in the middle of the night. Never seen again. Like, and all people heard was like this thud noise of like something walking along the corridors, and then he was just gone. Snatched away like that in the middle of the night. It says that if you're out in the corridors at night and if you're not behind like a salted threshold, then it'll get you. The ghost will get you. I've heard it, I have. Miss Henriette doesn't believe. She's
He's a skeptic.
Skeptic?
yeah. Well, she doesn't grow up around here. Like, everyone around here knows that Pevensey Hall is haunted. And through here we have the green parlour. As you can see, it's very green.
Mm-hmm.
There's you can see at the bottom, as you like walks you around one corner, you can see there's like a pile of like bits of armour at the bottom of a staircase. And everywhere you go in this house, there is stuff. Like, from the panelled rooms, like there's suits of armour, swords on the walls, there's cases of stuffed animals, weird like bits of stone busts, and like paintings, excessive number of paintings pinned up on the walls, so it looks overcrowded. Like, this is a house of essentially wealthy hoarders. Like, there is far too much furniture in every room. There is just an excess of everything, everywhere.
You'd think they'd expand.
Oh, the estates, I don't think they've ever really had... Well, it's not that they haven't got the money to expand, it's just that, well, a baronet has an idea to expand, and then, well, most often he's then dead before, like, they've laid the they actually laid some foundations out the back a few generations ago, but never got
So
built.
can you actually tell us what you saw or heard?
Well, I'd got up early because Miss Henrietta wanted the greatsword done, and it was still dark because it was winter, and I was just going up to do the grate for Mr. Aubrey's room. That's the green room, that is. And as I went up into the corridor, I could see this shadow just... I didn't really get a good look at it. I just kind of froze. I just kind of saw it, and then everything, like... I couldn't move. It was... I've never been so frightened in my life. I dropped the bucket, and then it was gone. Like it was never there. But it was horrible, it was. Just something just wrong. Like, you know, like when you see insects all up close? Something like that, but with these eyes just staring at you.
I'm going to pull out a notebook and a bit of graphite and pass it to her and ask her if she can do a little bit of drawing of what she saw.
I can try. I'm not much of an artist. It was it kind of was like big and like kind of triangular-y. If you look on the right hand side of Roll20, I'm attempting to, and like big arms and like a little head, but I didn't get a proper look at it. It was a lot scarier than that. I can't really draw that well, and as I said, it was dark and I didn't see it very, very well. But it wasn't a ghost as such. It was something far worse. That thing with...
You said something about its eyes?
I don't know, they're just... I don't know. Like, I don't know, just something... I can't really describe it. It's just...
Lady Irene is starting to pull her gloves off. Maddie, hold these.
I will hold the gloves, and then I will take the paper and graphite back.
Mary, would you mind thinking about what you saw? I mean, you are AR. I can see you're kind of in a state as it is, but would you then give me your hands? I can...
Sure. You're a medium, right?
Yes.
She is, yes, and she is sometimes able to see what you see through touch.
Yeah, what you had seen through the past sometimes. And yeah, she is going to try, and let's hope I don't bork this mediumship roll. Let's hope.
If you try and sense and see what it is that
That is a really big fail.
Mary saw, and you're not really getting anything much unless you would like to push this.
And I was about to say, you know, you've been teasing with me pushing a mediumship roll for a while now, and I think I'm going to try and push it.
Okay.
For once.
If you fail, results here will be at minimum sanity loss. with a chance for worse things.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. So, and I just roll. It's
Just
the green
roll
one,
it
right?
again. Yeah. Just roll it again. Ooh, that was worth it. That was a push roll worth pushing. An extreme success. So, Mary thinks back to what you saw. You focus your mind. You find yourselves momentarily back in Mary's shoes. It's almost like the experience you had with the black dust back when you saw back in time. It's that clarity, that precision when you actually physically sent your mind back in time. But now you're seeing through Mary's eyes, and you know, cold morning, got the coal scuttle in your hands. You turn the corner, and then there in like the dim light, you see this shadowy form shuffling towards you, and you feel your body or Mary's body lock up as you see this thing before you. It's not quite an ape, not quite an insect, but it has strong elements of both. This hide hanging loosely off its frames, dead eyes in its head. It sways drunkenly from side to side. It's these long forepaws extended with talons spread wide, and its whole body taut with this palpable malignancy that, despite its lack of expression, you can just feel it rolling off of this creature. And I need a sanity roll from you, please.
Makes sense. That is
As
disturbing.
As Mary sort of freezes for this moment. And
Lady Irene, indomitable again.
Indeed. And you watch as, before your eyes, the creature just fades resistance. One moment it's standing there, very solid and very much material. And then the air around it seems to almost warp for a moment and ripple. And then the creature is gone. And then with that, you're thrown back into the mind and body of Lady Irene.
Oh. Oh my. And I let go of her hands as a knee-jerk reaction. Because I believe, the way I always feel like when it's particularly intense, she might have squeezed her hands really tightly and then let go. That thing is terrifying.
And I will pass the pad of paper and the graphite to Lady Irene to attempt to draw.
I'm going to do my best to try and fill in the gaps. I'm not. I don't know how much of an artist Lady Irene is, but if it's human,
Do you have any points in any kind of art skill there?
let's see.
Let's see.
It could possibly go under education.
I was going to say, if not, give me I was going to say either an education role for like how much you've been taught about art.
Mm-hmm.
I think that sounds fair enough, right? Yeah.
Yeah, an educational. Where are you? Is it fine to use the language own? Where are you? Education.
Education's up with
Education's
characteristics.
at the very top right.
Oh, my brain.
Yeah, that's all right. It's
Feed
always
your brain.
rolling. It's not a great drawing.
No, it's not good.
I mean, it gets you the gist of this bulky creature, with this solid looking body with these strange appendages and eyes, and there's definitely an insectless night, these like fine hairs on it, and these long sort of paw-like hands with claws. This is a beautiful work of art that I'm very proud of. There we go.
I like this piece of art though.
Mhm.
It gives enough just to make it terrifying, and then your brain can fill in the details and make you go,
Oh yes. Okay.
sorry you had to see that, Mary.
It's just nasty, and no one will believe. Well, I mean, the other servants, I think some of them sort of believe me, but like Miss Henrietta, she let go the last person who said this place was haunted, and I'm worried that if I don't want to lose this job, but I don't like.
Well,
I don't want to have to go
Do
into
you
the
buy-
city to work.
Do you by chance have any of the addresses of the last few that she's let go?
Some of
I
them
don't know
still,
if
some
you-
of them still live down in the village. I can, yeah, I can find them. There's
If you would please.
if you ask down in the village, everyone will know. There's Fred Parker, and I know that I think Minnie's still down in the village as well. That's Minnie Booth.
Okay. We'll have to see. We'll definitely attempt to speak with them about this to see if maybe they saw the same thing you did, or something similar, or what their experiences were. We are trying to come to a solution to either remove the haunting that's happening, or to remove the curse that might be placed upon the household.
Okay. So as Mary finishes up her tour, you can hear excited voices from outside of the house, like drifting up from the garden, where you can hear. And this up here, these are the pyramids of Dashur, which are like a long way from Cairo, but they're like also really good pyramids. And this was like the first like proper geometrical pyramid that was ever like built, that has the size like this, but they changed the angle halfway up, so it's like looks wonky. Sorry, I'm talking about pyramids too much.
Have you had a chance to see any of the mummies at the Metropolitan Museum?
The what museum? I've been to the British Museum.
That's the one I'm thinking of. We had a Metropolitan Museum in New York City. Have you seen the mummies at the British Museum?
I went once, but only once. Miss Henrietta doesn't like going into the city very much.
Well, Miss Henrietta doesn't have to know everything, does she?
No. Anyway, you said you were a wizard. Can you show me any magic?
Yes, I can. But a wizard needs proper scenery, silence, and ability to use his magic. Would you like to aid me?
Yes.
Is there a place here in the house where you think would be particularly conducive to the occult arts? Think of a place that other people might feel a little creeped out by, or a place with a lot of yes.
The East Tower.
Let's go to the East Tower. What do you say?
And
Detective, we're going to the East Tower where there's creepy things.
She can come too. Although I don't think there's any dead bodies up there. Although people have disappeared here before. Someone threw themselves off the East Tower once.
Oh,
Did they?
good.
Yeah, apparently they
Yes,
were trying to
I'm-
get away from the ghost.
I'm quite interested.
Did they scream
in that.
anything on the way down?
Oh, this was a long time ago. I don't.
Oh.
I wasn't
Well, I
alive.
didn't know. I had to ask.
Oh, sorry.
Very well.
So
Well,
this party sort of trails into the main house at the same time that Irene and Maddie have finished up with Mary.
hello, ladies.
Hello.
He's got the kids like pulling on his hand. Zachary's just smiling and waving.
We're going to do magic in the East Tower.
And catch ghosts.
Yes, there was a suicide. I'm very excited.
I'm going
Yes.
to go into the library then and look through the things there. And I'll just turn and walk towards the library and into the library.
Maddie, before you go, there is a particular volume that I was looking for. It's a German book. You read German?
No.
Well, it's called Monsters and Their Kind. You
That's
happen
not
to-
German.
It's not. Well, according to the book, it's German.
Monsters and their kind isn't German. Whoever said that is talking a load of nonsense.
Well, have you read it?
Yes?
Well, where is it? That
In the
would be
library.
extra helpful. Well, let's get that because we're going to need it for the ritual.
Why don't you go check out the tower first and make sure it's what you need?
Yeah,
And I'm going to actually go into the library at that point.
We went from magic to ritual really quickly, and I think those have
Rituals
different
and
connotations.
magic are almost the exact same thing. One cannot do magic without ritual.
Okay.
Lady Irene has put her gloves back on fully, and are you going to be all right by yourself, Maddie?
But Maddie's already in the she walked away, so I don't know if you say that as the library door is closing or what, but she's in the library.
Okay, so as Maddie heads into the library, Aubrey sort of tugs on Zachary's hands and like pulls you guys up towards the East Tower. Maddie, are you looking for anything particular in the library? Or just general suspicious books?
Yeah, general suspicious books. I guess the book that was mentioned, any journals of any of the previous baronets or title holders. And then I guess anything that might have a list of different inventories of what the family may have purchased. If I can't find that in the library, I'll speak with the butler about it.
Okay, I believe an inventory was already requested, so that probably actually laid out on one side would be a hefty-looking old tome. There appears to be some kind of inventory ledger. But as you're using a library, I feel this calls for a library use roll.
Wait.
So, that is a failure. Your choices here are essentially, in this case, pushing the roll would mean spending a lot longer doing this. Sort of pushing on and carrying on with this research till after nightfall.
Yes, I'll push it.
Or otherwise you can spend the luck.
No, I'll push it. Success.
Okay, so you trawl through these shelves for a while until outside
Oh, shit.
the sun is going down. And we'll get back to what you find in just a moment. Actually, no, I think you would find this before the sun goes down. This is... and possibly still be looking at it. What you find in the library are a lot of boring books about hunting and estate management. but also two much more interesting looking books. The first one is familiar to you, because this is another copy of Nameless Cults. Same book. It doesn't look as well read as your copy. It doesn't have the personalised note in the front, but this is clearly from the same printing as your book. This is
All right.
And the second is this single handwritten folio.
Mm-hmm.
Looks to be, probably 16th century or so. Quite a jumble of topics. And handwritten, as all of it, on the front page is monsters and their kind. Spelt interestingly, as we'll stick it in the chat in just a moment.
That's fine.
But we'll get back to your sort of perusal of these books in a moment, as outside the sun is setting. And upstairs in the East Tower, it's magic time! So, what do we do? I've never done magic before. Like, I've read books that talked about magic and stuff, but it's kind of made up, right?
Yes, most books about magic are completely poppycock, but there is real magic out there. For those with the bravery and the intelligence to decipher it. How's your Latin?
Not very good. I'm trying to get better. I'm passable at Greek, but my Latin's just...
Greek then, excellent. Greek and Latin are the two primary languages that you'll encounter. There's some in Egyptian and Sumerian, of course, but most contemporary occultists have written in whatever language they speak. The reason that I initially thought that Monsters and Their Kind was written in German is because the person who penned the book was a German, and the other copies that are in existence are also written in the same tongue.
Note of amendment here. As far as you're aware, there is only one copy of Monsters and Their Kind. It is an English handwritten folio. You may be confusing it with Unersprechlichen Kulten, which is the original Nameless Cults, which is the German.
Okay.
So Monsters and Their Kind is a one of its kind. Folio.
Oh, yes, well, I shall possess it. So let's start with some basic Latin. Now, where I look around the tower, looking for, he looks like he's examining it for places to draw a summoning circle, and kind of scoping the place out to see if there's anything that would set off his creepy senses, or that would have traces of the truly weird, aka mythos stuff.
Okay. Give me, I think this is the spot hidden you're after here.
Okay.
Looking around, it's a square room. There's a window on each of the four walls, looking out sort of either over the roofs of the house and its chimneys or out into the gardens. It's not furnished up here. Despite the clutter in the rest of the house, this room seems to have been left pretty much empty.
According to the thingy, I did really well.
Yes. So looking around, there's definitely evidence someone has been up here. Unfortunately, most of the evidence that seems to have been up here is it looks like a child has been up here many times. You can see that on this flat floor, someone has chalked out various game markings on the ground, and also what looks to possibly be a sketch plan of the pyramids, which seems to trace who this was. But in amongst this, there is this print smudged into the chalk, all these childish drawings across the floor. It's only ever so faint, but it's definitely this large, not human footprint. It's just like trace, like, okay, there's a smudge up here, a smudge down here. This foot is big, it's not human shaped, and it's very much a solid foot that's like smudged the chalk here.
Is it Chaucer sized?
No, this is not. You can tell that this is not a Nightgaunt's footprint. This is not Chaucer. This is something else.
And despite himself, that same giddy smile spreads across his face, and he kind of looks over to Detective Shaw. Before we do anything, you have to see his notes on the pyramids. The boy's a genius of engineering. And he points to where the massive footprint is amongst all of the different child's drawings.
Thank you. I mean, they're not that. Aubrey's just busy rattling on about the pyramids now again.
Good.
Just new information for Lady Irene, who hadn't been privy to this before, but yeah.
But hopefully they can see the outline of the footprint now that it's been pointed out.
Yeah.
Well, he kind of looks around. Elevated position, clear view of the surrounding area, nightfall under moonlight. This does strike me as the best place to do a summoning. Well, let's start with the basics. Have you ever drawn a summoning circle before, my young man?
No? How do I do that?
Well, I shall show you. Do you have any chalk?
Yeah, hang on. I've got some in my pocket.
Excellent. Let's clear this real quickly. Can you help me move some things?
Yeah.
While they're doing that, Lady Irene is going to be whispering to Detective Lottie about the thing she saw. You know, while the young master is distracted and Zachary is fascinated.
Yes.
There's legitimately something here that's taking people. Seriously.
That sounds correct. I mean, this child has spoken of, people killing themselves, strange sounds. I'd believe it.
One of the servants saw this thing, and of course I took a gander. I can confirm there is something that seems to be here and then not.
Is it like between dimensions or something like that?
Does make me think of scary things like that. There was that incident that you weren't here for, but we dealt with something from beyond, chasing and murdering someone.
Yeah. It's tough. Well, I'm bittersweet finding, I suppose.
Keeper, just for sake of argument, that footprint that was pointed out, is it about the size?
Oh yeah, it definitely matches up with the thing that you saw.
Yeah, weird thing. But yeah, and she just kind of gently points to the footprint. It's like, I think that's accurate. Well, Zach and the young master of the house are making a summoning circle.
Yeah, I think we'll...
Zachary takes a quick moment while he pulls out his little notebook and his pen, because he has one of those self-filling fountain pens. and just writes down a quick note. We may be a while here in the tower, my friends. Could you swing this to Maddie, please, while she's in the library? And the note just says, definite monster in the tower. If you find the book, I will need to figure out what kind it is. And he spells kind the same way that the book spells it.
All right, that is fine. Lottie, would you like to accompany me, or would you like to stay? Because she kind of flashes the note to Lottie just so that she could see.
Oh goodness, I think I'll stay. I don't want to miss out on the magic, to be honest.
I mean, it's entirely up to you, detective. I already have the assistant that I require here. The matter that we're investigating, I believe we will benefit from as many people as we can looking into it with the resources that we have.
But
Yeah.
Lottie should stay here and provide defense, I believe. Don't you usually have some form of protector whenever you summon things to, in case, slay it if it goes awry? What if your summoning circle isn't properly maintained, or a symbol is put out of the way?
Never happened before, but I completely understand. And interiorly, Zachary's soul and brain are saying,
"Get the detective out of here. You are just a young boy."
is what his soul is saying, not his mouth. So he kind of turns to young Aubrey. Let's be about it then. And he pulls out a piece of chalk and starts drawing a legit facsimile of a summoning circle.
I think I'll stay, just in case.
Okay, so as outside now the sun is going down, as Irene heads down to Maddie in the library, where Maddie has just dug out the books that we described earlier, leaving Zachary, Lottie, and young Master Aubrey up in the tower. So, Lady Irene, arriving down at the library, you see Maddie with some books.
Maddie?
Maddie has the folio on top of the Nameless Cult's book. She has one hand, she's like biting on her forefinger of one hand as she's reading through Monsters and Their Kind.
Okay. So, let's see, the 16th century, so the writing is a little archaic, but it's not like it's in Latin or anything. For how much you can parse of this, how quickly, give me a language own roll, please. Essentially, this is for... Which bits of information are you getting as you make your way through this mess of a book? This is a jumble of topics.
That is a success.
You're seeing many mentions already of names both familiar and unfamiliar, of entities and creatures of great power, names that sort of rest in the back of your mind. Names such as Loiger and Yosk-Sothoth. And I need you to roll me a d8, please, unfortunate Miss Maddie.
1d8?
Yeah.
That is a 7.
I think you know what this is already, don't you?
Yes, so that's, what is that marked? Indefinitely insane again?
Yeah.
I just paid for that to get fixed.
Just came from a tune-up, Maddie.
So, As we
God.
started the game, I had just gained back 8 sanity. I am now down to 7 sanity, which is 1 more than when I left game last session.
Yeah.
Okay.
But as you, well, roll me a d10 here. Let's just see. I may change the results as.
That's a 9.
Yeah, as you've got the book open currently, as Lottie walks in on this page with this image of this hideous, monstrous creature. I'm going to post this to the Discord chat.
Okay. Now, keep in mind, I've got my finger in my mouth and I'm biting on it as I read. So I've probably made myself bleed a little bit.
Oh yeah, sort of blood trickling and
I've
falling onto the page.
Yes.
So, this is in fact the acquisition of a new fear, a new phobia for Maddie. So, given what she's been going through, what would be a reasonable thing for her to be afraid of now? What's the most traumatizing thing she's experienced recently?
The most traumatizing thing she's experienced recently would probably have to be Chaucer.
Okay, so I'm going to give you option. Do we want a crippling fear of heights or a fear of the dark? The dark when the night lords come, or the heights that they drop you from?
Probably the dark.
Okay. You have acquired a fear of darkness. I
love everything about this.
But off the top of my head, all the more reason for the flames, to rid yourself of the cold, the damp, and the darkness.
Exactly.
And yeah, as your book is currently open on this page, describing none other than the ritual to command the Star Walker.
Command the Star Walker?
Yes.
Ooh, okay.
But yeah, you're kind of frozen in fear currently at the moment as the night has fallen, the shadows of the library seem to stretch closer and closer to you. This darkness sort of closing in around you. You can hear the rustle of wings in the shadows.
I am going to. Is there a fireplace or candles lit
Yes,
in the library?
and yeah, there is a fireplace. It's not yet been lit, but there are candles.
And those have been lit.
Yes.
I will grab one of the candles and the books and head over to the fireplace and light a fire in the fireplace.
Okay, so
I will sit on the floor next to the fireplace with the candle at my near to hand.
Okay, so this is happening as Irene enters.
There is blood on Maddie's face. There is probably blood being smeared on the book and folio that she's got on her hand, in her hand, and she's trying to light a fire in the fireplace.
Maddie, what are you doing?
And I am going to look at Irene. Eyes are wide open, and the pupils are fully dilated, regardless of the fact that she's got a lit candle right in her hand, right next to her face. It's too dark, and I'm going to go back to lighting the fireplace.
Lady Irene is going to sit down next to her. Do I see the book? Or is she very much covering it?
You would see the book, but the folio's probably under it. So the book would be first thing you see.
Okay. I had a note from from Zachary. And I show her the note as I'm sitting there carefully trying in a weird way. I've seen this kind of reaction from Maddie a couple of times now. So my eyes are very much on the pile of books that she has and the fireplace. There is a definite semi-defensive stance from
It's too dark. It's too dark.
It's fine. Maddie, are you?
No, it is too dark. And if she's not gonna let me light the
I'll let
fire
you light
in
the fire. I'm just trying to protect the books. There's this very much.
No, the book. They're clutched. They're clutched to me. I'm trying to one-handedly light a fire. It's not like I'm going to throw them in.
I see her trying to do this, and then I go to take the fire-making materials out of her hand to make the fire myself. Since it's obvious she's of split mind of what she wants to do here. Let me help you with that.
More light. And I will let her take those things from me, but then I'm going and grabbing more candles and I'm lighting them.
Okay, so as this furious candle lighting is going on downstairs, upstairs in the tower, summoning circles sketched out on the ground. You're muted.
Of course I am. We haven't had one of those, and gosh, it had to go out with a
2
bang.
hours.
Yep.
And your summoning circle is almost finished. And you haven't actually begun any summoning yet.
Yeah, he's going to actually be building a protective circle, like one of the generic occult ones that he knows. Not trying to reverse engineer bind Night Gaunt, but he might have to improvise it with a mythos roll. But he wants to have that in place before he does anything in case something does come out in the tower. He and the boy will be protected.
Well, as you're almost finished with this circle, what's Lottie doing during the circle? Is she joining in on a little bit of circle drawing, or?
Absolutely not. Lottie is purely watching and admittedly, like, not sure what this man is going to do or is capable of. Like, I've seen Chaucer, right? I was there for that demonstration. Or no, I wasn't.
No, you've not seen Chaucer, no.
So I have no idea if this guy's legitimate or not. I think Irene has mentioned Chaucer. Like, I've heard about him, but I have no idea what it is or what's going on. Or maybe Lady Irene just sees it because she's a medium, and so I don't know what to expect to the degree that I, like, have a hand on my gun. I'm just sitting there like...
Yeah, Irene's seen it. Maddie, unfortunately, has only seen the results of it.
Okay, so as you're putting the finishing touches in this circle, there's this chill that runs through you. All the hairs on the back of your neck stand on end. As the air of the tower seems to ripple. And then, from the shadows, you see... So near the top of the stairs, this form begin to coalesce as the sun has set and the moon rises over Pevensey Hall. This hideous creature, this mess of stretched out limbs and insectoid-like form. Not a night gaunt, nothing like a night gaunt, but something really quite horrible. Give me a sanity roll, please. As this thing, one moment it's not there, next minute it sort of is into existence there, with this solidity and weight and form to it.
Yeah, I did okay.
Yeah, you're fine with this. Lottie, how are you doing with this?
I do immediately cover Aubrey's eyes and put him behind me.
Okay.
You said sanity?
Yes.
I'm fine.
This is like the least. I like to think this hideous extra-dimensional creature appears from the nameless voids. It's a Thursday.
Lot's pretty desensitized, I gotta be honest. I feel like most things that I've rolled for, Lottie has just not cared.
No.
Like, she's a very anxious person, but the stuff that she should actually be anxious about, she's like,
Yeah, what would you wish to do about this? In fact, there is, a horrible thing between you and the staircase.
I'm going to try to get a read on Zachary's response to it. If he seems afraid of it, or this seems like it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing, then I'm gonna shoot it.
So, Zachary's reaction to this is utter and complete elation,
Right.
mixed with concern over the boy. He kind of, and I'm sure even Aubrey can feel that there's something weird going on that's not good, in a bad way, and he kind of just gently pushes him towards Lottie, and he stands in his circle, smiling at the creature. And he's trying to decide whether he should fast cast to get Chaucer here to deal with it, or if he wants to, because he doesn't have the book that might have the ability to do something against it. He may try to just do a straight, like one of those mythos roll things, to bind it, as like, you know, but he doesn't have a high mythos, so it's going to be a massive gamble if he tries that. Can you spend luck on a mythos roll?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna try it.
Okay,
I'm
so
gonna see
you
if he can
want us
force his will on it.
Okay.
Lottie,
So Lottie's shooting it.
she has her hand firmly on the gun. She's not shooting it yet, because if Zachary's capable of getting it under control or taking care of it, like, that would be preferred.
Oh,
Because I don't even know if shooting this thing will work. But she's
Zachary,
prepared.
please give me a spontaneous mythos roll. So just roll me mythos. Let's see if you can pull up all your sort of knowledge and mental faculties to.
All right, I need the chat to send me good vibes right now, and I know all of you want me to botch this because you guys are jerks. But
Dead.
yeah.
They want dead. Chat cries for sacrifice.
if I
And
pump
they get
all
sacrificed.
no, if I pump all of my luck into this, I can make it.
What, that's 65?
Yeah, I can.
You
I can
have
pump all of
65
it in.
points
With,
of luck.
I have 67.
Okay.
So I'm gonna pump everything into this to make it an extreme success.
Okay, so you have 0 luck left, just to make this clear.
Yep, that's fine. I hopefully won't need any more after this. So
I don't think you can make it extreme, can you? You'd have to get lower than a 5.
It would
No,
for
I
an
can't-
extreme, it needs to be a 2. So that would be
Yeah. which
Yeah.
I actually can do because my mythos is an 11.
okay. So that's 74 points of luck.
Yeah.
He's been saving luck for this.
Yep.
You don't have 74 points of luck. You only have 65 points of luck.
Yeah, I thought you only
Well,
had 67.
no, I had 60. I
67.
had 67 plus 11, which is my mythos rating.
Yeah, no.
Would've put that-
So 11. Yeah, you
So
can
the
get it under
roll is a
11. You need to get it under 2
Yeah,
to
then
make it
I'll-
extreme.
Then I'll just take it down. I'll take it down to whatever I need to do to not die.
You can make if you spend all of it, you can basically get it down to a success.
Done.
So, so you're spontaneously pulling on what you know from dismissing and summoning Chaucer, and applying this new circumstance, this new creature. So, pulling from all the the like core of your being, and these words sort of leap to your tongue. Like these are sort of springing into your mind. Okay. You're gonna have to pour some magic points into this.
Okay.
And
Would that be a power roll for spellcasting?
yes, there's also going to be a power roll here. And I'm going to roll my D100 out here and open in the chat. So, give me your power roll. Let's see if this will succeed.
Nope.
No. You pour
Nope,
all of
91.
your mind into this. There's also give me a 1d3 for your sanity loss. Chip away at that.
That's fine. Fucking done my
As-
sanity.
This creature is not banished.
Why is it adding +1? I didn't do 2d6. Hold on.
As this creature
1. Okay, that's better. Right.
remains very much here.
But
Lottie.
it is. So it's not dismissed, but because I did make the roll with the mythos,
you know this dismissal. You're chanting this dismissal time, but
Yeah.
its power it is holding out against you. Its
Okay.
will, its power to remain here is.
But for now, it's at bay because I made the initial mythos roll.
You know the banishment.
Okay.
You're not
Yep.
succeeding in banishing it, but you are working on it. It's like you're forcing it, pushing this through.
Okay.
I'm going to say you can continue this. Like keep trying.
Excellent.
This.
I will
Continued
keep
loss
trying.
of sanity.
Yeah.
Lottie, what are you going to do about this?
I do take a moment to scream at her to get the others.
Yes. Can I swap out the child, please?
Swap out the child.
Yes. Can I take them and instead bring Lady and Maddie?
Just throws the child at the creature and goes and gets everybody else.
No, I want to go put the child safely somewhere else and then bring everyone else into danger.
So you want to run and leave Zachary on his own in this tower, facing off
Yeah.
against this creature?
What?
Okay.
I mean, what's the child gonna do?
All right. Yeah. No. Give me a dodge roll to get past this thing and out the stairs without harm to you or the child.
I will do that. Dodge. Ew. Oh, nice.
Yeah. So with extreme ease, you like get past this creature.
I fly out the window, tumble onto the ground. Like,
As it's locked in this battle of wills, with Zachary.
Turns out Lottie has a wingsuit and just dives out the window.
As Lottie like down the stairs like with speed. I don't think I'm going to require a listen roll. Maddie, now you can hear there's something going on. It sounds like someone is like barreling down the staircase.
yeah, dude, I'm parkouring. I'm
like over the banister.
Yep.
You can hear that from the library. What are you doing?
Maddie, I think we need to go check on our friends.
But it's dark up there.
What? I'm going to shove both the folio and the book into my other pocket, and double fist the candles. What are we doing? What? Take the candles.
I just heard something from upstairs. It
If we're
sounded
leaving this room, we need to take the candles.
Zachary, I'm going to give you one more chance at a power roll before this thing's.
Here we go.
Meanwhile, this thing is itself taking a swing towards
Nope.
you.
Failed by 8.
This thing is very much still there, and as it reaches forwards, and you feel this hand seize your shoulder. This grabs hold of you with this massive clawed taloned hand.
Well, if I'm still alive in 3 seconds, I know what my next thing's going to be. as a last ditch, I think I know what my...
digging into you, like crushing into your shoulder. It will do some damage here.
That's okay,
However,
I'm
it's
not very
not
durable.
trying to kill you.
Well, that's good.
So that's just 2. As it digs into your shoulder. Back down to the library. And to Lottie, thundering down across the hallway towards the library. Feet echoing through this cavernous hallway in the darkness. You see from the library door the flickering light of 2 candles.
More candles around and a fire.
Maddie! Lady Irene! We need you at the tower immediately.
I will put 2 candles into one hand and I'll grab more unlit candles. Or is there like a lantern or a oil lamp or something? I will put the candles down and grab the oil lamp and light the oil lamp and still hold the 2 candles. I don't care if the wax is burning my hand. Okay, let's go.
I'm looking for a weapon keeper. Is there anything sharp?
Yes.
Particularly long?
The walls of this house are decorated with medieval weaponry galore. Swords, spears, mysterious glaives. There is enough weaponry here to keep every polearm obsessive in D&D happy for years.
I'm going for a sword of type that I'm familiar with. Yeah, I'm going to be reaching up and pulling a sword.
Your time is now.
All right. Let's go. Looking at Maddie, looking at Lottie.
Okay.
And I my hands are shaking while I go from the brighter library into the rest of I'm assuming everybody's gone to bed at this point and the rest of the estate is dark?
Yes. Okay, so are you, Lottie, Irene, and Maddie, are you returning to the tower? Or going to the tower? And if so, with what manner of haste are you doing this?
Yes, I will be
Fast.
I will basically like grab them and just kind of start making my way and kind of just honestly just gibbering. Like I don't really even believe the whole Chaucer thing, but there's this creature, and I think Zachary is like fighting with it mentally in some kind of hellscape. I'm not sure. I took the child down because I didn't feel he was safe. I'm glad you grabbed a weapon. I have my gun. I don't know what's gonna happen. I really need you guys to see it. It hasn't done any damage yet, but I think it might, and I don't even know if Zachary's alive.
Zachary, you have another moment to try something here. What would you like to do? As before Lottie
I'm
bursts
going
in.
to because I can get Chaucer here to give me some time by having it attack it, but I don't know if I have enough time to have Chaucer show up because it's already in me.
Summoning Chaucer is not an instantaneous thing.
All right, then I got one more shot to not die. So,
okay, so are you still trying to keep up this attempt to banish this thing?
Well, yeah, it's either that or bind it, which, I mean, I guess functionally is the same, except one's going to cost me a lot more sanity to do. I don't know. Get just 30 seconds, chat. Bind it or banish it.
D2.
28, 27, 20. Okay, cool. We're going to try to bind it because it's Zachary, and if I'm going out big.
Okay. Give me that roll. Yeah.
Yep, people are saying bind. So, all right.
I hope
And
you have
here.
in your will written that you're bequeathing all of your items and earnings and wondrous things to
Yes!
Lady Irene. Oh my god!
Hard success.
Wow!
Hard success.
Oh, that was
Oh.
so close. So, what you see as you come through the door, as Lottie bursts open the door, is you see there's this moment where the air around Zachary and the creature warps, as though the creature, like it did when the creature first appeared. And you see for a moment as Zachary and the creature both begin to disappear to back where this creature came from. And in fact, you did try to bind it, not banish it. Right?
Yes, because once this thing drew his blood, Zachary's innate insanity kicked in, and he
In which
basically
case-
took the blood that was pouring out of his shoulder, started screaming at it, and shoved it in the thing's mouth, and told
In
it
which
to
case,
kneel.
well, whether the creature kneels or not, you, the rest of these three, do not know. Because, though bound, neither the creature or Zachary are actually here anymore. As Zachary and his newly bound wandering
Shambler.
creature have gone back to whence this creature came. You did not attempt to banish this creature, you attempted to bind it to your will. And as you bind it to your will, in the moment that it was already warping back to whence it had come.
Oh, that's my income.
Well,
Hey.
it is mine now, so I
It is yours
can
now.
come back. I can come
I'm
back.
sure we will be seeing him again when he returns from whichever dimension he has temporarily sojourned to.
What was this beastie called again?
It was called the Star Walker.
Okay. Okay.
But hey, got rid of it.
Job.
So, as Zachary Carnegie IV and his newly enslaved Star Walker have taken a brief trip elsewhere, leaving, I'm sure, to plenty of newspaper scandal and theorizing as to exactly where he vanished and how the curse of Pevensey Hall has struck once more. The three ladies are left staring at the empty space which held the creature and Zachary. And
Maddie stands there shaking, the lights flickering in both the candles and oil.
I think that is where we'll be leaving things off for tonight. There's going to be, I'm sure, a little carryover from this session as to what happens now Zachary has, temporarily left this plane dimension of being. He'll be back at some point, I'm sure, even more cultishly terrifying than before. But how are the ladies of the Esoteric Society? Cope with continuing matters? And how scarred will poor little Aubrey Penhew be?